I've got the Zempire Trilogy 3-person adventure series hike tent set up next to me here. It's a nice, sturdy, semi-geodesic frame little hike tent that won't break the bank. And I'm going to take you for a bit of a walkthrough. Let's check it out.
Hit it.
Howdy hikers, Ben from Snowy's here today at the Brownhill Creek Tourist Park in Adelaide's eastern suburbs. It's a nice little stopover to set up your caravan or your tent to spend the weekend or check out the Adelaide Hills. I've got some Zempire products here today. Set up next to me is the Zempire Trilogy 3-person hike tent, and we are going for a bit of a walkthrough. This is a great 3-person tent that it weighs a little bit under 4 kilos when you strip all the packaging out and measures about 55 centimeters in length. So it's not a really lightweight hike tent, but if you're looking for that bit of extra space for 2 people hiking, or if you have got 3 people hiking and you're splitting the weight across 3 packs, then it's a good solution. I'll start by telling you about the fabrics. Now the fly sheet is seam sealed throughout. It's a 75 denier, 210 thread count ripstop polyester, and it's got a 5,000 millimeter water head. As I move down the tent, I'll lift the fly up on the side here so we can see the inner and to reveal this ultra fine polyester mesh here. I don't know if it's a midge proof, but it's going to give you really good protection against most insects. The floor is 150 denier polyester with a 10,000 millimeter water head, and the frame is an 8.5 millimeter 7001 alloy. Also worth mentioning, the poles, they're a little tri-peg here. They're also an alloy. They're not made to be super tough, but they are made to be lightweight so they don't take up too much weight in your pack. I'm going to show you the features on the outside of the tent. We'll start by moving around to the rear here, where we've actually got an entrance at the back. So this is the back of the tent here. We've actually got a second entrance at the rear here. There's a zip under this storm flap here that runs right up the back of the tent. So if we undo this, I'll just step across the camera here. You can see that this opens up to a vestibule. Now this is a storage vestibule, if we like, that can be accessed from inside the tent, because we've got another door here to get in the tent. We can also fold these right back if we like to keep them out of the way if we need just a little bit of protection over the top but want to allow plenty of ventilation. So there's a bit of versatility at the rear of the tent here. I'll zip that back up and I'll move back around towards the front of the tent. But as I go, I'll just mention that there are plenty of guy ropes on this tent that I haven't set up today. There's one at the rear here, and then around the side we've got one on each corner and another one in the center here. So there's a total of 7 guy ropes to give the tent plenty of stability if the weather does get bad. So looking around the front here, there's a couple of vents that feature up in the top of the vestibule here, and there's little kickstands in here to keep them open. If we push this back under there, there's Velcro to seal it closed if we like. If we leave it open like this, it allows ventilation up through the top of the tent. It's a full mesh inner, and that combined with the door at the rear can create cross ventilation throughout the tent. That's about all the features on the outside. I'll move on to showing you this vestibule feature here. Now this is a 2-way zipper on this vestibule, so adding more to the ventilation option, we can actually zip down from the top here if we like, to just allow a little bit of ventilation through the top there. Alternatively, if we want to zip it right open and access the vestibule, we can zip this all the way up. This will then fold back and can be secured back here out of the way, and that gives us access to this storage vestibule at the front of the tent here. Now there's enough room in there probably for a couple of packs. I don't know if you'd fit 3, but you will have got that space at the back to fit a 3rd pack as well. I'm going to crawl inside the tent now, have a look at the space in there. So the door that we get in through the tent here, the same as the door at the rear. It's a mesh door, it's full mesh, and it's got a small panel at the bottom here, so it cuts a little bit of breeze out at the base, and that's got its own little stuff pocket on the side here so we can keep it up out of the way. This also features at the rear of the tent, the same thing when we open that door. The vestibule at the front here, I'll mention, just comes out about 1 meter to its furthest point, so you have got a reasonable amount of storage space. Now looking inside the tent here, it's really quite spacious inside the tent here. I've got a couple of regular sized camp mats here. They measure about 183 centimeters and about 55 centimeters in width. Now Zempire call this a 3-person tent, but I reckon you could almost fit 4. It'd be a very tight 4-person squeeze. Quite a comfortable 3 and very roomy 2-person. For 3, you could almost fit a bit of gear in here. 2, you could fit yourself plus 2 packs in here quite easily. By my measurements, the space in here is about 2 meters by 2 meters, slightly different than what Zempire say on their site, and it's about 125 centimeters to the peak here. As I mentioned at the rear there, we've got about another 80 to 90 centimeters out to that furthest point at the rear vestibule, and we've got this door to access the back there. At the very top here, we have a little plastic hook to secure a lantern or a torch or a headlamp to, if we like, overnight for light in the tent. And while we're up here, we can see that this is a full mesh inside the tent here. At the lower end of the tent, there is a little bit of polyester that runs around the base just to cut a bit of wind coming in from under the fly. But other than that, it's a full mesh inner for tons of ventilation. On each side of the tent over here and on this same side mirrored are 3 storage pockets so we can keep our valuables at hand overnight. And that's pretty much all the features inside the tent here. It is a really roomy 3-person tent. So for 2-person, if you're finding yourself stuck somewhere in bad weather for a bit of time, it's probably a good tent to bunker down in. You can grab these online at snowies.com.au at our lowest prices every day. If you thought that video was useful, subscribe to our channel. We'll send you all of our latest and greatest information. If you've got any questions, let us know down in the comments below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Or check out some of our other videos like this one down here.